are we going to have a massive real estate crash in single family houses? Is it coming? We saw it in 2006 where a lot of people are expecting it, have been expecting it for years. Is this it? Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Wealth Creation. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. With me, as always, on these Wednesdays, we got Matt Jones. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's another beautiful fall day.
Another beautiful fall day, man. I love this time of the year. It's amazing. Temperatures are cool, but it's not like super cold like it happens in Minnesota, where it's like negative, 25 degrees with a, big, huge wind chill. But it's gorgeous out, so love it. Matt, today we want to talk about what's kind of going on in the real estate market, mainly single families, and some of the interesting headlines that have been out there. So why don't you tell our listeners what we're going to be hitting on?
Well, especially Zillow. I mean, there's some other companies like Zillow that have been buying directly from sellers and then flipping those properties to new buyers. But Zillow just recently stopped buying properties, at least for the rest of the year. They have a lot of trouble right now with rehabbing the properties, getting enough people in to fix them up. So they just stopped doing that. Now they're trying to push off all of their inventory out. $2.8 billion worth of single family houses.
Yeah, and this is affecting, this is a domino, right? It's not just affecting Zillow, it's affecting all these realtors. You hear a lot of these realtors, you have this guaranteed price offer, and a lot of that's driven by Zillow and some of these other big companies out there that are basically just they're buying so many houses, so the realtor knows, like, here, we'll guarantee you we can get you this price. And if we can't, we'll just buy it from you. And then they go and sell it to Zillow, right? Or Zillow buys it. So that kind of puts a stop or slow down on that. Zillow's not the only company out there kind of guaranteeing prices and doing that, but they are certainly one of the bigger players out there. And so it affects a lot of things. $2.8 billion worth of real estate is being sold, potentially more to come. They're selling it for, in many cases, a loss from what they bought it for. So that's always interesting. So what's it going to do to the market? Is it going to flood the market? Is the market ready to crash? We've got not only Zillow is selling, but we've got forbearance is over now. Mortgage companies can foreclose on single family houses, and it's been a little while, so there's been some time so it can play out, so they can actually already be getting in through this foreclosure process and all that. Landslides in there. And so are we going to have a massive real estate crash in single family houses? Is it coming? We saw it in 2006 where a lot of people are expecting it, have been expecting it for years. Is this it? Is this the tip of the iceberg that's going to plow everything into the ground?
I suspect not, to be honest, because,
Why?
well, I know
Why,
the doom and gloom is great and all, but the single family market is much bigger than that. And Zillow, while they're a big company, there's other big companies that are doing that same thing, and they're not slowing down their buying. So, and these $2.8 billion worth of houses, it's not like they're all in the same town or something. Like they're spread out across the nation. And I guess I don't know where the density of properties are that Zillow has
the
bought.
Bigger cities, right? The
Yeah, I suppose.
Phoenixes, the Dallases, they've got these big portfolios in these big cities, which, look, if you've got a $500 million worth of real estate, or probably a quarter, let's say you got $250 million worth of real estate in Dallas, Texas. That's not that much real estate, not compared to that market. That market's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really the same thing with Phoenix, so I don't know what exact dollar allocation they have in all these areas. But they're in a lot of the bigger cities. I mean, they're in the Twin Cities as well. They're kind of all over the place. Like you said, they're spread out. So it's not like it's affecting the market as a whole, but it's only $2.8 billion. It sounds like a big amount, but it's really not that much. If you've got each house selling for what, let's call it $300,000, what's that?
That's about a little over 9,000 houses.
9,000 houses. Yeah. So, I mean, if you got $2.8 billion worth of real estate, you've got 9,000 houses all across the country. It's really not that much. When you compare that to, I don't know the exact amount of houses in the US, Matt, but when you compare that to the foreclosure crisis, where we had 5% of the houses being foreclosed on, and that's a nationwide toll. Some of these cities had 10, 15, 20% of their housing stock. I mean, 9,300 houses across the nation is less houses than got foreclosed on in a metro area of the Twin Cities.
Yep.
So it's just peanuts really when we compare it. And a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is great, this is gonna, I'm gonna start being able to buy these real estate prices for next to, or the real estates for next to nothing. That's probably not the case.
Yeah.
The foreclosure crisis that, well, some people expected of a pandemic does not seem to be happening. I did not expect it to happen, quite frankly. I think we talked about it on the show already. A lot of mortgage companies were willing to work with home buyers. It kind of almost just extended their loans. They gave a lot of payment forgiveness. The government gave a lot of free money out, so people could pay. Now they saved. They could pay their mortgage. So it's just not as dire as what we thought. And the real estate market is showing to be very resilient, and showing to be of a very high desire right now. So even the little bit of extra inventory that is coming on the market is getting snatched up very quickly, and I would expect that to happen with all of these houses from Zillow.
Yep. And I just looked it up. There's 139 million homes in the United States. So 9,000 is a drop in the bucket.
139 million
Yeah.
homes. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, that, when you look at nationwide, we had this foreclosure crisis, and it was at 5%. That's 350,000 homes. If I'm
No,
doing the
well,
math right.
5% of 139 would be a little over
No,
four
three,
and a half million.
yeah, 3
Or I'm
million.
sorry, I'm sorry,
Three and a
like
half
five.
million.
Yeah, we're bad at math today. That'd be like
Yeah,
6.5 million homes, something like
would be
that.
6.5 million.
Something like that. About.
Yeah. So anyways, it's certainly a lot more than 9,000.
Yes.
So yeah. So anyways, what's going on with Zillow? Does that shake up the market a little bit? I think what it maybe slows down a little bit is these guaranteed price offers on real estate, which, it's kind of slows down the market. So instead of seeing 10 to 15% price increases in single family houses, maybe now we're going to see 9 to 14% price increases in single family houses. You're going to see just a little change. Same thing with, if we do see an increased foreclosure, maybe we'll see a few points drop in the real estate market. If we would have seen a 10% increase, now you're going to see maybe an 8% increase. So I don't see it being that big of a negative effect. I think there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of need for single family houses right now.
Yep. And while my ability to predict the future is very limited, I don't have a crystal ball or tarot cards on hand right now, but I expect the single family market to keep going up for the near future at least.
Yeah. So that really means, like, look, if you're in the market to buy, if you can find a deal that's good, it's probably now still a good time to buy. I mean, you look, we've got low interest rates and high inflation, like we talked about last week. If you got low interest rates and high inflation, that's a recipe for success. And if you can get into a property for a decent price, and capitalize on that, I think you've got a really good thing going on.
Excellent.
So, all right, Matt, anything else?
No, that's it for today.
All right. Short, sweet, to the point. You have a fantastic rest of the day. Make every day a Saturday.
Thanks. You too.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.